AI is not going to replace human art. It's really not. Everyone knows that all it can do is take everything that humans have already created, mash it together into nonsense, and lie about where it came from. That's all it can do. Literally, it can only copy, steal, and regurgitate. That is all it can do. It cannot feel, it cannot share from human soulful experience, it cannot connect on an empathetic and sincere, heartfelt way. It can do none of these things because it is not sentient, and real art is sentient. Real art has feeling. Real art has purpose. Real art has soul. Real art has a human creator. Imagine entering into like a cooking show or some kind of contest where you have like Gordon Ramsay or some very badass, esteemed professional in the culinary world, and everyone is creating these beautiful dishes and working their ass off, and someone just strolls up with a bag of Taco Bell and plops it in front of the judges and like, yeah, I made this. And they're like, first of all, this is shit. What is this? This is not, no offense to Taco Bell, but you get the example. And they're like, yeah, I made this meal. And they're like, no, you didn't. You went and bought it, and then you brought it here and tried to act like you're in the same room as these other people who actually know what they're doing and who've put in talent and effort and skill to create something. Like, you're not even in the same sphere at all. Most artists, actual artists, have severe imposter syndrome where they're like, oh, I don't belong here, I'm not good enough, you know, we beat ourselves up so bad. And then there's people who are like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna type some bullshit into a prompt and have AI shit out something horrible for me. I'm gonna put my name on it. I'm gonna come into the room and act like I belong there. That is crazy to me. I think here's the part that they justify it, which is very interesting to me. They think that because they thought it up, that all of a sudden that means they did it. Like, there's a huge difference between thinking something and actually fucking doing it, okay? Because a lot of people think about stuff, and that doesn't mean that they are in the same caliber of the person who not only thought of it, but they actually devoted the effort, time, energy, skill, failure, and everything to get it done. I think the reason that people are drawn to doing this is because they want so badly to be artists, but they know they're not going to do any work. They know they're lazy. They know they're not going to do what it takes to actually put in the required amount of learning and skill and devotion and trial and error and face all the failures and face all the rejection and experience the act and the identity of an artist. No, they just want a fast pass. They think that art is a product. They think that art is something that equals money, and they miss the entire fucking point. They miss the entire point that it's so far over their head that you can't even explain it to them, right? And they think like, oh, I got an idea for a sci-fi novel. I'm just gonna type out a couple little sentences and say, write it in the style of this famous author. And I don't know. I have no idea how people manage this stuff. I haven't actually read anything that like a long form work that either has been openly admitted to using these generative AI slop bullshit, or people who've lied about, or it's speculated that they've lied about. I haven't read this stuff yet, so I don't know. I mean, I have read AI writing, and it's to someone who ingests a lot of human work, you can tell pretty quickly, like, oh, this is just the same thing over and over and over. There's no actual thought or emotion here. Like, this is just nothingness. But yeah, these people, they want to be us, okay? And they'll do anything, even lie, even contribute towards tools and billionaires who think that stealing from artists is the way that they can be us. And that's what's so funny. Money cannot buy this. That's what's hilarious about it. When people want to be something, or they recognize the value in something that is so great and so magnanimous that even, you know, it's not something you can fake, people will throw as much money and as much whatever they can to try to capture that thing. They can't truly capture it. They can't truly get it. And they will keep trying. They will keep trying. They will devote whatever pathetic means they have to put on a costume and try to be in the same room as everyone else who actually is an artist and who actually devotes their time to craft. And even if they get in the room, what's going to happen is everyone in that room is going to look at them and be like, how, when it comes down to it, and if this person or these people are having to actually answer questions about the work that they do or the craft that they have, or if they have to do a live performance or a live example of what they do, they can't, because they don't do anything. You know, and they're just going to hide behind a digital screen of, like, for example, if there's someone who's creating mass amounts of novels, AI generated, just auto BS, auto stolen work that's just been vomited out, they might be like, yeah, I'm making money doing this. And it's like, okay, maybe you did sell some, maybe people didn't know that this was AI and people weren't able to pick that up at first, but your work is gonna die. It's gonna just tank, because the people who are getting their work stolen and the works that we compare throughout history and the literature that we revere, these are people who we have evidence and can clearly see the influence of their soul in the work that they do. And we can see them actually performing the work that they do and actually doing the work that they do. So if you think you can just download some dumb bullshit and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an author now because I'm gonna tell this little box that to write a book, to write me a romance book, and I'm gonna sell it and I'm gonna be famous. Like, no, you're gonna be a laughingstock. You're gonna be a loser. Even if you make it that far, people are gonna figure out what you've done and they're gonna know that you're a liar. And not only because it's gonna be very obvious, but because when presented with, you got what you wanted, you're on the pillar now, you're in the room with all these people who you're claiming to be like, and you got the mask on, and they ask you a simple single question about what you're doing and why you're here, you're not going to know what to say. They're going to say, why are you in this room? How did you become an artist? And you're going to be like, the thing is, I view art as an object that I can exploit, so that's kind of how I got here. And people are going to look at you and they're going to just feel sorry for you, because it's so hard for me to fathom, because I'm truly so dumbfounded by people who think this way. They will lie and steal and go to any lengths they can to try to shortcut people who are actual artists and actually do the work and actually perform real art and give real value to society, even if their work isn't selling for a lot of money, even if it's not widely known, even if it's not widely available. This doesn't matter to them, because in their mind, art is something that is a tool to get on top. Art is not something that is a human experience and a connector of humanity. To them, it's something they can use. It's something they can use as a little award they can pin to their jacket, like, yeah, I'm an author now. It's a little badge they can wear, but it's not something they have to be. You know, everybody wants to be an artist until they have to do this shit that means that they are one. Everybody wants to be an author until they have to sit down and write a fucking book. Everybody wants to be a painter until they have to learn how to paint. Just like insane. Like, you are not one of us. Unless you do the things that put you in the room and you actually earn your way through being it and doing it, you will never be one of us. People create art because they want to share with the world, and they themselves feel the great and unexplainable desire to contribute. People who want to use something that will do it for them, they want to gain. They want to gain. That's it. They are in it for themselves. They don't give a fuck about their fans, about their readers, about people who might ingest and view the work that they make, because it's not work that they made. And they know that. They just want to siphon not only from the work that they are stealing from, but from the people who might pay to be a part of the work that they've stolen, and then to continue that cycle as long as they possibly can, so that they can just grasp whatever tiny thing that they can continue to steal from people. It's a scam. It's literally all it is. We've, throughout time, throughout history, there's people like this that have nothing to offer at all in any capacity. So what do? They scam, they lie, they do anything they can, because they'll do anything but the work. They'll do anything but actually try. That's what's so pathetic. If you want to be an artist, just be one. You know you want to write a book, fucking write one. What is so hard about that? That's the part I literally cannot. I will sit here until the day I die and still not be able to understand. Like, if you want to do something, do it. What's so complicated about that? Like, you'll put more effort into trying to do some big, huge bullshit scheme when you could just do it yourself. And here's the funny part, is that people think like, well, if I do it myself, it won't be good. But the part that's funny is that art doesn't have to be good. Okay? So you could just make shitty art and people would still value you and care that you've put the emotion and the heart into it, because that's what it's about. It's about the human soul. And then the greater irony is that if you think that taking the stolen work and the AI work will make you a good artist, that's the shittiest work in existence, because it's not real, because it's stolen, regurgitated nonsense. So if your fear is that you'll be bad at it, well, now not only are you terrible at it, but you haven't even done it. You've just been a liar and a scammer and a cheater, and you've defied the entire purpose of what art is. So people now will just see you for what you are, which is a fake. That's crazy to me. I don't get it. But yeah, all this to say to all the people who greatly fear this will take over the world, and maybe they'll have some ways that our work gets shoved down into the dirt, the same that it has been happening since people have been burning paintings and destroying the work of artists, and all throughout history, throughout wars, throughout conquerors, throughout whatever it is, that these people do anything to suppress artists, because they know that artists are the one people in humanity who are willing to speak the truth, along with other, brave and wise people who devote their life to exposing. And I don't mean this to get super political, but artists are being suppressed in this way because people do not want people who are willing to devote their life to sharing honesty and truth. And that's the reason people hate artists, on top of that they can't be us. They don't like that we like to share what's real, and they don't like that we will make you uncomfortable by doing that. So that's another reason. If it's not for self-gain, it's for silencing. So go ahead, let them try. Like I said, people have done this throughout all of history. Artists have been silenced, artists' work have been destroyed, books have been burned, paintings have been destroyed. This isn't new. This has been going on since the eons of human existence. But we don't have to let it make us fear that we can't continue with the important work we have to do. And instead, just become more vigilant. Become even more ferocious about the work that you do, and be proud. So keep making art. Keep making terrible art that is not perfect, and that is riddled with human error, and that is just close enough to being good enough, because this is what art is. And imperfections in art is what makes it art, because it is made by a human, and it is an expression of an imperfect human. And it is connecting with other imperfect humans. And it is uniting humanity's shared soul of consciousness. Art is the thing that we have that helps us deeply share our consciousness. And a machine will never be able to do that. A program will never be able to do that. A person who's so desperate to pretend they have a human soul, and instead of using it, lying and taking the lying tools of a machine in order to fit in, they're not going to fit in. They're never going to fit in. This is way bigger than right now and whatever half-assed dollar you think you're going to make by making fake art. This is about humanity as a whole. And generations forward, long after we're all gone, the art that we actually make is the art that will stand the test of time and that will be remembered. And all people will remember about people who lie is just nothing. First of all, they won't remember your name. They won't remember the slop that you put your name on, and they won't care about you. All they'll know is that if you did make any kind of splash anywhere, it's just that all you cared about was trying to sabotage other artists. You're not in the room with us. You are not one of us. So keep making real art.